Welcome to Releasing Trauma, a Survivor's Podcast. I am your host, Tracy Osborne. I am a survivor of emotional bullying, rape, sexual assault, domestic abuse, and grief. After losing my husband in 2019, I set off on a new adventure to help other women release their trauma and create a life they can cherish. Each week, I will feature a guest expert or survivor to share their stories, tips, wisdom, and more. The goal is so that you can take away even just the smallest nugget of information you can use in your life right now to make a change, and to remind you that you're not alone. There is life after trauma, and you can move from victim to thriver and create a life you can cherish. This week's episode is a replay from the Thriving Through the Holidays Summit. Hi, welcome to another session of Thriving Through the Holidays. I'm your host, Tracy Osborne. And with me is Svava Brooks, who is just an absolute sweetheart. Y'all are going to love her. Svava is a survivor of child sexual abuse and the co-founder of a nationwide child sexual abuse prevention and education organization in Iceland. I am not going to try and pronounce the name of it. She is also a certified instructor and facilitator for Darkness to Light Stewards of Children, as well as a certified crisis intervention specialist, a certified positive discipline parent educator, a BellaNet teen support group facilitator, a certified TRE provider, and a trauma recovery coach. That's a mouthful. She is a mother of 3 children and has dedicated her life to ending the cycle of child sexual abuse through education, awareness, and by helping survivors heal and thrive. She is a certified facilitator for Advance, a program created by Connections to restore authentic identity. Every week, she writes about healing after trauma on her blog and also leads a discussion forum on child sexual abuse, healing, and recovery online in her private Facebook groups and on her YouTube channel. She lives in Portland, Oregon with her family and her 2 rescue cats. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So nice to meet you again. Boy,
good to be here with you.
I feel undercertified listening out all your certifications and stuff. I'm like, I need to get busy.
Yes. Well, but here's the thing. I kind of smile when people read that out, and because it really is my healing journey.
Yeah.
And I think you can relate to that, is that, and the people that work with me, they will smile too, because they know me. If I find something that I think is going to work for me, I dive in deep. And what better way than, okay, I'm just going to sign up for whatever this is, and I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to put down money. I'm going to sign up for being held accountable. I have to show up. There's no way to back out here. And really, hearing you reflect on, my CV, it's like, yep, that's what helped me with that. Yep, that's what helped me with that. So
yeah, no, I completely get it. I've got stacks of books you can't see around me, to help me, not only with my coaching business, but mostly with my own healing journey. As well as I do, it's ongoing. We're never fully healed. We're a work in progress until we're not here anymore,
Yes. Yeah. And I don't think it's so much about, healing. I think humans are meant to continue to learn and evolve. Mm-hmm. And so I think when we decide that's it, I'm done learning, I think that's kind of where we start breaking down. Okay, that you don't have a purpose for being here anymore. It's like, that's just how I see it. So my drive to learn is like, because what I've also found, the more I know, the more I've learned, the less that I feel like I know. I'm like, I know nothing. It's like, oh my gosh. And I think really the trauma healing world, it's very much that, because there's things that we still don't know about the mind, about the body, about pain. I mean, some of the greatest challenges that we are faced as humans, we really don't have solid, like, A, B, C, D, you'll be fixed, right?
Yeah, no. And I don't think we ever will. Not for trauma or anything mentally related, because it's not something you can just put a Band-Aid on.
Yeah, and also because it's so subjective, right? It's like you're honoring your experience, your truth, and it's going to look very different for the person sitting on the other side of the table. And I think sometimes that's the hardest part for humans, is to, right, there isn't the right way. No, it's all about you exploring it until you find what is your way. This is your life, your journey.
And everybody wants to tell you how to walk your journey and walk your path. And, you know, like you said, this is your journey. It's very personal, very private. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You know, your topic is actually healing from the heart, not from the hurt. And I love that, because I think for so many of us, we attack this from a place of hurt. And it makes it 10 times harder to heal and to move forward.
Yeah. And just, you know, that was kind of a shift for me when I was ready to kind of move out from, okay, I know I'm a survivor. I know all the crap that I've been through. And it took me like 10 years to admit that I'd been through stuff, right? Because up into my 25 years old, no, my childhood was fine. I know I'm okay, right? And so it wasn't until I started my healing journey that I was like, and I would see in my groups, I'm a big fan of groups, in the people who were sitting in the circle with me, their faces when I was telling them what had happened to me. And I'm like, oh, really? That, I guess that was not okay, or that was a big deal, right? And then for like a decade, I dove into, you know, embracing that I was a victim, because we can't skip that stage. We can't just move on to survivors because we don't want to feel the pain, the hard stuff, or bring into awareness what really happened and like feel the grief of that. It's hard. And so it was when I said, okay, I've focused on this for so long. I'm ready to make that shift. I've focused on the hurt, and I've been living out of the hurt, being the victim. But now I'm ready to start living out of my heart. Now that I had finally gotten in touch with what it felt like to love, and to love Svava, and to like open up to the possibility of being fully seen and heard, I'm like, okay, I want to start living out of that. And that called for a little different practice. And if anything, for me, it was kind of like a lifestyle change, because, you know, I had this body that had done a beautiful job keeping me safe, right? The hardwiring that we don't get to ask our body to, if it wants to protect us and disconnect or dissociate or whatever it does. It just does it. And it's always doing what it seeks is the very, very best for us, given the energy and the information and your safety at that time in your life. And so I had done some of the legwork, and I was ready to make that shift. And so what does that look like? And so I had a mentor at the time who really helped me like connect what that process looked like. I'm not a big fan of, I'm just going to tell you how, like, you know, this is what it sounds like, or read a book about it. And that's why my CV is what it is. I need okay, so what does that look like? I'm in the trenches doing it. And so this beautiful mentor of mine helped me to see the power of my choices, the power of my thinking, the power of my intention, daily intention. What am I choosing? And the thing is, if I'm not aware and grounded in my body and my heart, choosing the life that I want, funneling my energy into that, my body by default will be choosing the easy path, which was the hard wiring. So I get to choose, because I'm creating new patterns in my mind and my body. Daily practice. Sometimes, you know, morning practice, afternoon practice, because I had to be super vigilant about my thinking, and tracing that to my feelings, and then tracing it to how my body was feeling. So anyways, that's kind of how that shift came about.
Wow. I agree. You have to be hypervigilant because, those thought patterns create highways on our brain, literally create highways on our brain. And so, you drive somewhere and all of a sudden you're like, I don't remember even driving here, but here I am, because you're on autopilot. That's what our thoughts do. And you have to be very conscious of your thoughts for a long time, to recognize, okay, the negative is seeping in. Now it's time to reframe, and bring in some more positive, more loving thoughts.
Yes.
I like to use a thought journal. And so when those thoughts come in, write it down and rephrase it.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about that on YouTube yesterday. It's like the topic of discussion. It's like, and then for some of us, we don't even hear those negative thoughts. It's like they've been such a big part of our life that they kind of like they kind of happen right under our eyeballs, like just kind of here in the background. And we've turned on, we don't even hear that voice, but yet we can feel the impact of it. And it isn't so much even the words, but how we say them to ourselves, right? The tone that we use. We are so freaking brutal with ourselves. And sometimes it's the voice of our, the parent or the protector or the person that hurt us. And again, we've just kind of like, we're doing this, and all day long, we are just like, right? And so turning up the volume a little bit, it's like, okay, I'm willing to hear it, because I wanted to understand, why was it that I felt like so low all the time? And following my body, because the body, like 80% of our messages in the body are coming from the body to the mind, right? It's the state of how you're feeling is, right? Your mind is like, something's wrong, and we're getting the signal from the body, something's wrong. Oh, you must have done something wrong. Oh, remember, you're bad. Oh, remember, you shouldn't expect too much, or right? So the mind is constantly translating what the signals are coming from the body. So coming into the body, slowing things down enough, and like you said, have a thought journal. It's like, where is this craziness coming from? Mm-hmm. These are not like, oh yeah, I remember my stepdad saying that to me, or I remember an old boyfriend used to call me that, or yeah, that bullying in high school. It's like they come from somewhere. Yeah. But then we just deeply connect to them and we start to believe them. And then it's like we are the ones, right?
Oh my gosh. The things that we say to ourselves can be far worse than anything that's been said to us in our past. Now, I'm not making light of anybody's past by any stretch of the imagination, because I've had some horrible things said to me. But the stuff that I say to myself on a daily basis, it's almost like I have taken what the abuser, where they left off, and escalated it, and it's, just do a conscious exercise and just, kind of sit there and start thinking about some negative thoughts. I'm not worthy. I am horrible. I screw up all the time. And pay attention to how your body feels. All of a sudden you're tense, you may be feeling nauseous or something like that. And then change those thoughts around. And I am amazing. I am incredible. I am, phenomenal. And your body will relax and you can notice the physical change, because like you said, it comes from our body.
Yes. Our body doesn't lie.
Hold everything in.
Yes, exactly. As we know, the body doesn't lie, and the body is your historical record of what you've been through. So, and just reflecting on our conversation in my group yesterday, some people said, well, yeah, I can turn these around, but I don't believe it. right? Right? And well, and that's a crucial point, because, right? And this is where again, we're sharing, like I'm holding up my hands. It's like, you gotta really want it. You gotta really want to. And the part of you who keeps bringing up the historical, of this isn't true because, see, I know you're not good because remember that, right? So whether it's your body or your inner child, your inner critic, it's like I said, becoming the parent and the protector that I needed created like that mama bear energy in me for myself and all my parts, that when anything from the past gets brought up, I will go to kindness. And it's like, no, I understand why you don't believe it.
Yeah.
I understand. I remember. I was there. But hey, sweet one, right? I believe, I know for a fact that you are kind and generous and loving and always doing your best. Right? And I do that with the feeling, the warmth, the tenderness in my voice for myself and my parts. That's the piece that we often miss. We can't just, I'm good, right? It's like, that doesn't work. It's like connected to an emotion. Really feel it.
That makes me want to tear up, actually, because I'm connecting to it.
Yes. And bingo, Tracy, this is it. This is often why we skip that part, because when we turn to ourselves with kindness, sometimes there are some hurt. There's hurt that needs to be felt. And so our automatic, right, is, it's too big. I don't wanna. So,
yeah. No, you gotta let it go. Gotta let it release the hurt and embrace the love.
Yes.
Now, for the few minutes that we've got left, how can we turn this to the upcoming holidays? Because that's what this whole thing is about, right? How are we going to get through the holiday season, which is usually such a big trigger for so many of us. Yep. So how do we turn this love and coming from the heart towards, maybe those family gatherings where we have to be around those who wronged us?
Well, I have a handful of suggestions. The first one is basically start with yourself in terms of taking care of you. Because sometimes the holidays are so much, it's about giving and being generous and, going out of our way for other people. And we definitely have some interesting circumstances going on in the world right now, which maybe for some of us are an easy out of a gathering that in the first place we didn't want to go to. So yay.
Could be a blessing.
Exactly. Exactly. So we can say, well, I think I might have been exposed here. So I just don't want to, risk anybody or exposing anybody. I'm just going to stay home this holiday season or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm all for bowing out as graciously as you can, whatever you need to say for you. Right. But also, don't skimp on your self-care, right? Take care of your body, take care of your nervous system, fill this cup first. If you write out your list of what to do, make sure you are in the top 5. Me, and then everybody else, because you have your body, right? You need to move your body, tend to your feelings, tend to your inner child. Make sure you're eating, right? Maybe do some art or dancing. Really fill yourself up, because when we fill ourselves up and we come into a space where maybe there are some people pulling on us or trigger us, we have more bandwidth to handle. Or even like, no, I'm sorry, I don't treat myself that way anymore, so I'm certainly not going to put up with that from you, right? But I think that's the most important part. And also, everybody, everywhere. I always come from the benefit of the doubt. This is the eternal optimist that I am. I always like to assume that people are doing the best they can. So when someone in front of me is a little crappy or on their edge, instead of assuming I did something wrong or I'm at fault here, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe there's something going on in their world that maybe they haven't gotten support with or felt safe to process or talk about. And especially right now, we are very close to the tipping or the overwhelm line a lot.
Yeah.
So give ourselves a lot of grace. And my favorite tool here, placing my hand on my heart. And I can do this in meetings. I can do this when I'm sitting around the table with other people. But to me, when I place my hand on my heart, I've done this enough that my body is like, oh, she's recognizing that my spine is tensing up a little bit. We're starting to feel a little worried, maybe a little uncomfortable, a lot of energy flying in this room. But the minute I place my hand on my heart and my body knows, I'm here for you, my friend. I hear you. I see you. I feel you. And those shoulders drop. And I feel more grounded.
I like that. Oh, wow. That right there is a very powerful tool. And that is something you can do anywhere. Nobody's going to really say anything if you've got your hand just sitting right here. You're like, okay, whatever. I mean, I do it all the time, you know?
Yeah. And you can even do it by placing one hand on top of another in your lap, or you can grab your elbows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever you need to signal to your body that you're.
Yeah. And another thing I do a lot, I brought this, I carry little heart rocks in my pockets sometimes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then, you know, if you have a crystal or something that helps you to stay connected and grounded, then I hold on to it. I'll bring it out and just play with it. There you go.
Yep. I don't know if I wear the bracelet, but I keep it right here because this is my stress point is in my desk. You know, that's my biggest stress point. So I'll just keep it here and I'll play with it. I might put it on my wrist for a little bit and then I'll take it off. But turquoise is my calming stone. So yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
No, I don't know. I just have all these feels right now. All these feels are coming to the surface. So
I'm sorry. I tend to do that for people.
No, don't apologize.
I know.
I'm sure that our listeners are having a lot of feels happening right now too. So definitely make sure you take care of yourself. Sit in some quiet for a little bit and ground yourself. And let those feels out. Let the emotions out. I'm probably gonna have a good cry after this. But it's a good cry. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly that. It's a good cry.
Yes.
But Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us for this amazing event. This has been a fabulous event, and I'm just having a ball talking to everybody. So thank you, Svava. Thank you, listeners. We will talk to you in the next session.